You're listening to Linked AM. Tell your story on Linked Live and get noticed. You're listening to Carl Wolfenden on the Business Class Show and is not always affiliated with the guests and the topics discussed. Any financial statements are the opinions of the individual, and you should seek professional advice before making any decisions. Upgrade your listening to Business Class, the show that puts you in the big leather comfy seats. So sit back and enjoy our take on the trending business issues of the week.
Howdy, folks. Here he is, the Texas Brit, the guy with the stiff upper lip, filling his 10-gallon hat and his cowboy boots, Carl Wolfenden.
Good morning, and welcome to Linked AM here on Business Class News. And of course, we just got back from summer break. My goodness, it just flew by. I just took my daughter back to college, and for her second year, she's excited to be leaving the house. I was not excited, but that's me being a dad. But hey, that's how it goes. But I'm so proud of her that she's entering her second year and closer to her dream, which is what's the goal, isn't it? And that's really why we started. If you've been following us, and I know a lot of you have over the past couple of years, we started a feature called The Future of the Workforce. And it was all about how, students need to start to really embrace STEM. And then about a year into it, somebody actually said, well, actually, there's a new thing called STEAM. And I said, okay, what's that? And they said, well, you need to put the arts into it, because technology isn't just about technology and science and math and engineering, etc. It's about combining art into it as well. And that is visual art, the videoing, what you're seeing now and listening to. And so I said, okay, well, we need to start to think about how we're going to incorporate all of this. So we set up a task force called Innovate 5. And of course, 5 is for the 5 disciplines of STEAM. And over the next year, we're going to be actually interviewing a lot of CIOs, CEOs, etc., of organizations, because I have this passion, okay, because I noticed that the students, they weren't relating to how technology like cell phones and audio equipment and TVs and all of these things that they interacted with on a daily basis, computer games, etc., how that really was linked into their schoolwork. Because corporations actually adopt STEAM in their everyday, operations and marketing, etc. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a whole series called Innovate 5, which really puts it in context. Why does a corporation or a technology company really embrace those 5 disciplines? And then that hopefully will, spur on some enthusiasm in our students and really get them engaged. So that really sort of leads me into our next guest, because innovation is this young lady's passion, and has been for many, many years. And there's an organization here in Dallas called Tech Titans. They actually sort of are known as the Technology Association for North Texas. And I got to hear about a contest, a challenge that they do every year. And it's actually pretty cool. And I thought I'd bring Amy Wheelis onto the show, and she's with her here in the virtual studio. Hello, Amy. How are you?
Hello. Good to see you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I know. Innovation is a huge passion of yours, and technology. And of course, Amy, you are the chair, the board chair of Tech Titans, aren't you? And you're actually also the representative of AT&T, who is a partner of Tech Titans. So I just thought I'd sort of ask you the question before we get into the contest, because that's what I'm really excited about, that what you're doing and the theme this year. But tell me more a little bit about Tech Titans and the vision and the goal of what the organization is all about.
So Tech Titans, our goal is really to foster the technology ecosystem in North Texas. And I call it an ecosystem because it is an ecosystem. You have to have workers, you have to have the education, you have to have the companies, and it all has to come together to create that ecosystem for success. And one of the things that is, Tech Titans has really three pillars where we really focus our efforts around, and two of those intersect in this space. One of those is our innovation. We have what we call an innovation collider. Now that's a virtual thing, but our innovation collider is because as we were trying to figure out what to name it, we thought, we're not going to create some, place for people to go to, but we want to create the collisions of problems and technology and bring them together to help solve them, whether that is company to company or business to business or students to education or problems to research. How do we go solve those problems? How do we create those collisions that make the world better? And then, of course, our STEM efforts and STEAM efforts. We have an education program where we work with the independent school districts here in the North Texas area and with the community colleges and colleges, of which we have membership on Tech Titans. And we work with them to put together programs, whether it's mentorship programs or sometimes we do robotics, sessions and different things like that with the help of our member companies. We have about 400 member companies that have come and go into our membership at any point in time. We have 40 board members representing our largest companies. And through this group of people and these resources, we're able to reach a lot of young people. In fact, over the course of the last 6 to 7 years, we've had over 20,000 impressions, and that's the impressions where we reach out and when we have the chance to interact with a child or a young person about technology, that we call that an impression. And so we're really proud of that, and the intersection of that is really where this grand challenge idea came up, where we could create a grand challenge for people who are just getting started, whether that be in the education world or in an entrepreneurial world, and bring them some prize money and bring them some ability to interact with organizations that are farther along that journey.
I think that's great, because at the end of the day, what I've noticed, as I said in my intro, 2 years ago, I was shocked at the where we were as a nation, and we're talking about America, because our international audience is out there, but I'm talking because I'm here, as everybody knows, here in Dallas, just outside of Dallas. But I was shocked with how far back we were, and the engagement of students and wanting to get involved in science, technology, engineering, etc. And I ask students all the time, do you enjoy math? And they all look at me and go, I said, well, think about it. Think about what math is. Do you like science? Well, think about what you're doing every single day. You might be playing, Call of Duty or, one other sort of a Fortnite. You don't realize the engineering and the technology that goes behind it. Then they get interested. And that's what I love about what you're doing, is you're bringing companies to the table to say, okay, yes, this is what we do, and this is why it's relevant for you, because you're my future engineer. You're my future CMO, in terms of marketing the technology. It goes across that whole gambit. So I applaud you for doing that, for sure.
I had the opportunity back earlier this year to be on a panel and in the Wiley ISD for 8th grade girls. And so they brought, there were about 80 8th grade girls in the room, fed them Chick-fil-A for lunch. And then we had a panel discussion about being women in technology. And there were 4 or 5 women from various companies State Farm, AT&T, Toyota, various companies represented. And I'll never forget, and it ties to your comments earlier about STEAM and the importance of the arts. When we got to the Q&A portion and we were asking, the young ladies to give us questions, the young lady in the back of the room raised her hand, and she said that I'm good at science and math, but I really don't like it. I really like art. Is there anything that somebody that likes art could do? And I'm like, yes, finally somebody's asking that question. And so that we could talk about how anything that gets built needs a design.
Yep.
Whether it's a chair or, the background in, the sets for a movie production or the, video gaming, you need a design. And that design is where the arts comes together.
So that's why when we started to brainstorm to say how can we put a program format together that really showcases how corporations incorporate STEAM, because then it becomes real to them. They go, oh, I get it now. I mean, maybe the kids won't listen to it, but the parents may listen to it. And the parents will go, okay, I want to, instead of me pushing them towards something that they don't want to do, but they like a certain area, there's still a place for them within it. Because one of the things that I work with Best Robotics, which is part of the Texas Instruments, organization, and Michael Stein, who's the executive director there, he and I have had many conversations about it's all about team, and it's not about me, and so you have to have that blend of technology, the innovation piece, and then that arts piece to make it a rounded piece. We're getting off on a tangent here because, but I think it links in, and I love it. I love it because one of the things what I do love about the challenge this year's Collider is called the Tech Titans Collider Grand Challenge. Yes. And the theme is around, and I clicked on the link because I wanted to know more about this. I've had conversations with guests about being responsible when you come up with an innovation idea, because technology can be dangerous as well as to be for good. And so innovators have to be wary of what are they doing and what is the impact on the future of the planet as such. And so this year's one is actually it's taking the 17 sustainable elements that the United Nations say these are the things we need to be, like poverty, hunger, all of those types of things. And you're saying to the contestants out there, come up with innovative ideas that actually, either just focus on one of them or I'm going to ask you the question. Are you saying you got to look at all 17, or can they just look at it from one particular topic?
They can look at it from one particular topic. So if I'll pick on clean water. If they have a technological, the focus is on technology. So we're staying true to our roots with technology, but what kind of technology or application can help achieve the sustainable goals? And how do we help that along? And so, clean water is one of the biggest problems in the world today. And so, maybe there's some technology that somebody can, come up with or is working on that is in that area, and that'd be a great opportunity to bring that to this challenge.
Absolutely. What I love about this as well, as I was reading the criteria for entry, etc., you have to be an entrepreneur, startup, etc., women-owned business, minority-owned business, etc. All of those are eligible to apply. And what I'll do is I'll put the link as well to it, because I think it's the registration I think starts in September, doesn't it? September the 5th.
The deadline for applications is the 5th. Registration.
Oh, is the 5th deadline? The deadline. Okay, so listen to this.
2 weeks out.
Yeah. So remember, you got to get your application in as such. And so when I was reading it, you're a regional association but you're opening it up to the nation, aren't you?
Nation.
Absolutely.
And the reason for that is that, you know, in a virtual world, there are no boundaries.
No.
You know, and if we open it up for a larger grouping, we have better opportunity to grow more people. And, you know, ideally, we'd love for the winners to be a North Texas based organization, but they don't have to be. We're looking for the best idea.
That's the beauty of today's world, isn't it? I mean, I think that what the past 2 years, I mean, I'm not even going to say the word of why the past 2 years, because it's been overused so many times and we're over that now. But at the end of the day, what it's taught us is that, you know, we can be a global, but we can be a national I like the word ecosystem. I like that because it is a community. If I read a book, and I'm sure I've said it a million times on this show, and people are going, "Oh, he's going on about that book again." But it's such a great book. It's Seth Godin, Tribes. It's called Tribes, and it's all about, you know, you do have somebody with a vision and the passion, and then you have like-minded people coming in, and they say it takes a village, don't they? They say that, and it really does. And if we all come together, corporations, individuals, educators, students as such, then we can make a difference. And so I think what it's taught us is that there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries, and we should, an acceptance of all. And so I'm excited about it. So you mentioned there's some prize money. There's a nice piece of 20,000. Yep.
And that is contributed by sponsor companies that are members of Tech Titans, and sponsor companies also provide some of the judges. And, you know, we have a series of corporate judges that help, you know, screen down the number of applicants down, and we'll get to probably the top 3. Depends on how many, and depends on, you know, if there's a natural division point between the quality, you know how those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then those top 3 will get to pitch their idea in a Shark Tank like style event to 3 celebrity judges. We haven't announced the celebrity judges yet, so I don't even know who they are, but I know some of the names that they're looking for. And I can tell you that in the first year we did it, Mark Cuban was one of our celebrity judges. And Thaddeus Arroyo, who was at the time CEO of AT&T Consumer, was another one of them. And Charlotte Jones. In fact, Charlotte has been twice one of our corporate judges, Charlotte of the Dallas Cowboys organization.
Fantastic.
And they had a blast doing it, and the participants really enjoyed that interaction.
And then you've got an event as well where you'll celebrate those runners up and winners, etc. Is that correct?
One of our biggest events that Tech Titans host every year is our annual awards gala, where we get to celebrate the technologists and the companies who are doing, you know, expanding the ecosystem in North Texas the best. And so that gala is coming up in October, and we will announce the winner and have the winner there as part of the awards gala. And we'll get to present them the big check, the big cardboard check.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. That's I mean, what I really like about, I mean, I've known about Tech Titans for a long time through my business partner, Chuck May, over at Inflection Point. Right. And he's always talked about how wonderful, events that you have and the vision and the mission. But I didn't know about this contest. And I'm so glad that we were able to spend the time together talking about it. I'm going to put it all out onto it's on innovate5.com. It's the numeral 5, innovate, and then 5.com. And then I'll also put it on Business Class News and all the link that you need to have to register. And so thank you, Amy. I know you're very, very busy, and you took time out of your day to be with me this morning. So thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to really following up and maybe actually have the winner on the show.
That would be awesome.
As a follow-up. And so there you go. We're going to have the winner of the with Amy, winner of the contest, and little old me. So that we'll get that done.
Thank you very much for having us, and thank you for your support.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much, Amy, and I'll let you get back to your busy day.
Okay.
Of course, that was Amy Wheelis of the board chair at Tech Titans. And, as you can hear, the passion in Amy's voice, I mean, she's really, really fully vested into technology and innovation, as you can tell. And that really marries into what we've been doing here on Business Class News. So as I said, I'm going to put all the information about this contest. You've only got a couple of weeks to get your applications in. So, again, press on that link that's below this podcast and this video as well, and you'll be able to enter, because you can make a difference. And like I always say, go out there, have some fun, but make some money, because it's business class news, but also be safe. So until the next time, goodbye.